Just want to point out that uh, you don't always you're not always going to get big profit sales, but if you get a bunch of smaller ones, you can still make some decent money. I'm talking about eBay. It could be Amazon as well. So today is Thursday, the January 30th, 2025, and I sold these 5 items on eBay. I sold this one for $14.99. I sold this CD for how much? $15.37. This one for $7. This one for $12, and this was my biggest one for $24. The only one that was free shipping was this one. So I didn't have big sales. $24 was my biggest one. $7 was my lowest one. But uh, after all after all eBay fees and shipping costs, etc., my net profit was $52.10. So it's not that much, but it's something, right? And I'm able to move in inventory and make a little money and keep it going. So just keep that in mind that, I had like 8 sales. I had over $300 in sales on between Monday and Tuesday because I had a bunch of really big dollar books. But sometimes you get 5 sales, but you don't have any like 40, 50 plus dollar sales. And that's just how it is, right? You keep listing. Um, if I was doing only eBay, that's it, didn't have a store, didn't do Amazon, do anything else, I would definitely be getting way more sales. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're only doing eBay, you're only doing Amazon, whatever it may be. And of course, everyone's different in terms of how much time they put into it. Are you part time? Are you full time? Are you sometimes? Is it just extra money? Is it something you're trying to make into full time income? But sales come in, period, and you just got to learn what to sell and be patient. And some things will sell right away. Some things will sell for as much as you ask. Some won't. You'll have to run promotions. You'll have to run discounts, that kind of thing. But yeah, this is reality. Sometimes it's not big money, but at least there were some sales. And today I'm gonna open my store, my brick and mortar store, and I'll share that more with you. So this is what I'm seeing when I'm going to pick up items. Anyway, there was a fire. Wow, a building burned down. That's terrible. Oh man, that structure is really destroyed. Well, there it is. This is basically me tracking everything um, from the Gaylord. I finished sorting through it. I finished pricing out all of the uh, buy it now items, either lots. These are 4 DVD lots. There's another one down there. I forgot about that. There's another one, all sealed DVDs. And then these are individual ones that I'm putting as buy it nows on eBay. So I also have, these are all kids DVDs that are going into an auction. Those 3 stacks are all DVDs, movies, and that is TV shows. That's Blu-rays, but I'm not going to do either of those. There's not enough. I have some more over here. Let's see, how many more TV shows do I have? These are TV shows. So I could do the 2 together and then just count like half of it towards the Gaylord. That probably makes sense. Blu-rays I'm still going to hold off on. I also had some loose CDs over here. That one there, that stack, which is more, yeah, around 100, plus that one there. So like 120, 130, something like that. But I already have a bunch of others, so I'm thinking just to add that to that bunch of CDs, because I typically don't get that much for an auction of CDs. Honestly, I've gotten less than 20. I've gotten 30 when people do buy it now, which I offer as well as the auction begins. So those are all things that are going to go in the or go towards getting my money back from the pallets. So basically, the buy it nows came out to $495 gross sales on eBay. The auctions, though, of course, I don't know. There's gonna be that auction, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I'll do the TV, but only half of it will count. So technically 4. Well, 5 because I'm gonna do the CDs, but it's only gonna be like a quarter of them that came from the Gaylord. So I'll just do that anyway. But essentially, like four auctions from the Gaylord, from the palette of mixed media. Um, so let's say out of the 494, after all fees and offers accepted and all that stuff, let's say I get about $250 before the auctions. I think that's reasonable. Now, on the bad side, let's say I get like 175, 200, and then in the auctions, I do anywhere between like 50 and up. I think between buy it now and the auctions, of course, the auctions are going to sell right away within, I do 10-day auctions. Some of the buy it nows are, of course, going to sell. Some are going to sell quicker than others, but we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure that the great courses, this one here, will sell right away. There's 19 of them. 3 are CDs and 16 are DVDs. So we'll see if that sells quickly and for what I'm asking. But even if the auctions do decent, like I'm gonna guess between the sealed DVDs and the loose discs, I'm gonna say after all eBay fees and whatnot, around, I would say between, to be conservative, between like $50 to $75. If I get more, great. But let's say even just $50, right? And then the other buy it nows. So I think over time I will recoup all my money on eBay alone within the first couple of months. However, the good news is that for my store, there's $1,380 of potential product or inventory to be sold. And that includes inventory I already put out in the store for this week. So if eBay pays for it, and then over time I sell off that inventory in my store, and again, I'm putting out stuff that I know is going to do well. So even even if it sells through in the next few months, half of it, about what is that? 700? No, yeah, about $700, $650. So I'm looking at, basically the Gaylord was great for my store, much better for my store than for my online, which is fine because I'm growing the store. And like I've always said, I would rather sell most of my items in my retail store than online, knowing that some items will always do better online than in my store. But the bulk of it, I would like to get in the store because of a variety of reasons. I sell it right away. I get the money right away. There's no fees other than Square if I'm processing a debit card, credit card, whatever, a very small percentage. But obviously cash, all of that there's no fees. So compared to eBay, which is not bad, which is around, what is it, between 12, 15%. And if there's any promotions I do, that kind of thing, I have no problem with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I would rather sell everything in the store or most things in the store. I almost sell 100% of the vinyl I get in my store, put it in my store versus online, unless it's something that I can get like $100 or more for legit pretty easily on eBay. I'll probably just sell it on eBay. But anyway, so those are just tangent side notes. But I think as an indication of what the other Gaylords probably will be like, it's probably going to be more of the same, I assume. But of course, I will track it and let you guys know and stay on top of it. But gross, we're talking, without knowing what the auctions would be, about $1,880. That does not include the 33 Blu-rays that went to my second store, or the $48 worth of Christmas DVDs that are not going to go out until Christmas time. But let's say about $1,800, almost $1,900 of potential gross sales from the one Gaylord that I paid around $250 for, including the delivery fee. So that's not bad. Now, of course, like I've said, it's better for me having my retail store. If you were buying these specific Gaylords and you're only selling on eBay and Amazon, you'd end up doing probably many lots, DVD lots, CD lots. A lot of loose DVD, loose CD lots. However, I also want to say that there's DVDs that I put out, that I'm going to put out in my store, that you can get. There's a fair amount that you can get on eBay for the range of like $15 to $25, maybe $30. There's a few dozen that are like in that range. So if you don't mind selling, let's say $15 to $30 DVDs, let's, another couple dozen, whatever it is, I don't know exactly. Let's say another 20, 25, then you're adding to, there's more money to be made there. But it was definitely not a very lucrative Gaylord in general if you're just selling online. Now, of course, every Gaylord's different. I can't wait to dig into the other ones, but I have a sneaking suspicion by just looking at what's on top that they're going to be similar, which is great for me. But you never know. Each Gaylord is a little different, and each source of the Gaylord is going to be different based on where it comes from. Most of them come from thrift stores or just donations in general. And some donations are better than others. And, that's just how it's going to be. I've gotten Gaylords that have had tons of video games, individual DVDs, individual CDs that I can sell for $40 and $50 and up, much more, like $100 items. So, you can find a Gaylord that has 10 $100 items in it, and there you got $1,000 off of 10 items. And the rest of it is, lower profit, but still great profit in general, of course, not everything, but so it always depends, right? These were really clean Gaylords. The first Gaylord was really clean, not a lot of trashy, which I've come across a lot. So I'd say it's quality in that sense, and most of the items are in good shape. They weren't busted up. Some are, but not too bad. So those are my thoughts on the first one. So for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna photograph and set up all my auctions. So again, I don't have that many, but I'm gonna photograph those, and then all the buy it now lots, I'm gonna photograph and list those, and then I'm gonna photograph and list all of my my individual buy it nows as well. I think I just want to do that for the rest of the day. If I can finish that, I don't know if I'll be able to before I close the store. But if I'm not, I might go through some more stuff. Anyway, I don't know. It's a side note. I'm just thinking out loud. But that's what I'm going to do. So today's Friday. I got those Gaylords last Friday. So assuming I finished or almost finished listing all the stuff on eBay, I will have completely finished one Gaylord by myself in 7 days. So I think that's pretty awesome. That means if I only had that as a source, if I wasn't getting other stuff, the last few days I've gotten donations. Yesterday I got some more donations, a small book donation and some other stuff. Oh yeah, right. The other stuff from last week, the VHS tapes and the DVDs. I still have to go through the DVDs and prepare them. But anyway, if I didn't have that, I only had the Gaylords, then great. I could get through a Gaylord a week essentially. So that's not bad. That's pretty good news. However, if I was only getting that and spending what I'm spending on them, which is around $250, I definitely have to be finding a lot more to sell on eBay to make more profit per Gaylord. But in terms of in my store, I'm going to have a lot of nice profit. And yesterday was a good day in my store. Some new customers came in, some old customers. Anyway, so those are my thoughts. If you're going to get into bulk buying, especially pallets, just be patient. Test them out, test the sources out, know where they're coming from. Make sure that they are not, that they have not been gone through by other resellers or by a thrift store. So a thrift store might, they'll get tons of donations, and then sometimes what they'll do is they'll throw all the stuff they don't want into a Gaylord and sell it off. I've seen that. Specifically, I've seen them do that. I bought Gaylords like that. So they have someone that's sorting through it. This is good. This is not good for them anyway. And then they're tossing the stuff that's not good for them into the Gaylord and selling it off for pretty cheap, but nonetheless, that's a waste of time. But you can pay, more money for a quality Gaylord, whereas they got all of it donated, haven't gone through it, and you're going to find better stuff that way. So just some thoughts to consider. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.